Hey guys, it's Nihongo Johnny and welcome to my channel if you're new. My name is Johnny and I talk about all things paranormal and Japan. So if that's something you're into, definitely click subscribe, hit that thumbs up button, and hit the bell for more notifications. I put out spooky videos every Friday. It's no secret that Japan is a country full of ghost stories and urban legends. It's even home to some of the scariest urban legends in all of the world. So do you think this is all just one big coincidence, or do you think these haunted houses and urban legends are real? Today I'm going to be sharing with you 5 of the scariest haunted places in all of Japan. This week I spent so many hours translating and trying to get new information to share with you guys, and I fell down this really big rabbit hole and all of this information really creeped me out, so I hope that it scares you guys just as much as it did me. Now without any further ado, let's get into these 5 scary places. The Keisuke Sanatorium. This tuberculosis hospital is located in Keisuke City in Osaka. This hospital was first established as a school in 1948 and eventually turned into a sanatorium in 1958. Many tuberculosis patients underwent medical care here. It was officially shut down in 1992, and almost everything was left the way it was when it shut down. For a while it served as a sanatorium for young men who eventually lost their lives. Many people have died of tuberculosis in this very hospital, and it's said that their spirits still haunt this building. It's said that the inside of this hospital is completely dark, even during the day, so it's very dangerous to go inside without a flashlight. There's stuff all over the place. There's x-ray machines and surgery tables and equipment just left there. So you have to be careful not to trip or get hurt. That adds an extra level of danger besides just this place being allegedly haunted. I think that even adds an extra level of creepiness to this place because it looks like people just walked right out, like an emergency happened or something like that. This place has come to be known as one of Japan's scariest ghost spots. It's so popular that people often go there to investigate, and people also go there on dares in order to test how brave they are. So it's become almost a game. It's said that those brave enough to enter this hospital are overcome with fear, and they get this really creeped out feeling like someone's following them throughout the hospital. There's a man that can be heard yelling, "Hey, and go home, you shouldn't be here." And even the agonizing cries of young men can be heard throughout the night. Although the inside of this building is very creepy, it's said that the outside is quite nostalgic. People who go there or just see the picture get overcome with some sense of deja vu. So you guys will have to let me know what you think if you get that feeling from this hospital. Once again, let me know in the comments below and we'll get on to our next place. Hakone Mountain in Toyama Park. Located in Shinjuku, Japan, there's a place called Toyama Park. While it's a nice place for locals to go and have fun, for some, something much darker awaits them. It's said that once the sun sets and midnight approaches, something strange starts to happen. A while back, more than 100 human bones were found in this area. According to one theory, the bones belong to the victims of live human testing by Unit 731 of the Kanto Division of the Japanese Land Force. I just want to put a trigger warning here. If people are uncomfortable with the topic of live human testing, please feel free to pause the video. I'll make sure to put a timestamp in the description below so that you guys can skip this part. According to old newspapers, scientists injected war prisoners with all these different kinds of diseases, and they started to dissect these prisoners. They would cut open their body and study the effects of the different infections that they injected them with. They would often get very violent and amputate different body parts such as arms and legs. They would do this without anesthesia, so the victims would suffer a lot. Once the victims died, they would transport their bodies to a different section of Tokyo, and eventually they were dumped in mass graves. And a lot of people believe that this park is one of those graves. There was a lot of secrecy around this during World War II, and nobody really wanted to talk about it. But recently, one nurse who was involved with the disposal of these bodies came out to the public. She ended up getting interviewed for a newspaper, I believe it was the BBC. I'll make sure to link this in the description below so you guys can check it out too. But she came out publicly about these events and people took her pretty seriously, so you guys will have to let me know what you think. As for the more modern day haunting, it's said that you could hear the voice of a man screaming from this mountain. He's crying in pain and trying to get someone's attention. It's also said that you can see a shadow moving around the park, and if you try to approach it, it just disappears. This park does have streetlights every few meters, but it's still a very dark and dim park. It's said that sometimes you could hear things walking over leaves and bushes shuffling when there's no animals or nothing around. And sometimes when you're walking there alone, you can hear someone breathing behind your neck. People who go there at night report feeling very sick and having parts of their body begin to hurt, and they would hear sounds of people whispering in their ears. Some people theorize that these are the voices of the victims of live human testing, still trying to get someone's attention and call for help. Do you guys think this could really be the case? Or do you think people are just feeling this because they know the story about the history of the park? Let me know what you think, and we'll move on to our next haunted place. Coleman Tunnel. The old Coleman Tunnel, which still exists today, is a sad place with a horrifying history. A young girl was murdered in this tunnel by a notorious serial killer by the name of Tsutomu Miyazaki in the late 1980s. Ever since that night, there have been reports of sightings of this girl's ghost in the area. This has become one of the most famous haunted locations in Tokyo. The body of another girl who fell victim to Miyazaki, only 7 years of age, was found near the ridge of this very area. The hands and feet of this poor girl had been cut off, and people reportedly see her figure roaming around the ridge to this very day. People took this very seriously, and in 1988, newspapers interviewed people about the sightings of this young girl. People reported this very sad and messed up looking girl with no hands or feet, and she looked like she was looking for something, and she was so depressed. The tunnel itself is very different from the surrounding areas. It's not quite abandoned, but cars can no longer pass through it. It's only a walkway for pedestrians. Nature has pretty much taken over all around the tunnel, and it's very quiet. There's some streetlights and the tunnel is lit up a little bit, but it looks fairly eerie. Some people report that when they walk through the tunnel, they feel something cold and wet grabbing their feet, and they also get this urge to run and get out of there as fast as they can. Those who went there to investigate the tunnel reported lights turning on and off. Other people reported the lights turning a dim red color, making the walls look like they're covered in blood. If you're brave enough to go check out that tunnel, you might just hear the crying of the poor girl who lost her life there. Let me know what you guys think, and we'll move on to our next place. Irei no Mori, the Memorial Forest. Located in Iwate Prefecture is a forest called Irei no Mori, or Memorial Forest. This forest is notorious for a fatal plane crash that happened back in 1971. A commercial plane ended up crashing with a fighter aircraft, and a total of 162 people were killed. The forest till this day is still said to be littered with body parts. There are those who believe that because such a tragic event happened in this very forest, there are many souls trapped here. Some even believe that because this event happened so fast, many souls have not even realized that they've died. Even till this day, strange phenomena still occurs quite frequently. There are just so many stories from people who have driven through this forest. They said that red handprints appear on their windows, and that they can see glowing eyes off in the distance in the trees. Even thinking about that image in my head freaks me out. But I want you guys to let me know if there might be some sort of logical explanation for all of this. One of the creepiest stories was from one old man who was driving through the forest. He said that his radio became very staticky, and all of a sudden he could hear this deep male voice. It was saying, "Don't come any closer, stop where you are, just return home, go back." I kind of wonder if this could have been a warning. Maybe it was something warning him about a potential danger lurking ahead. A group of young kids who camped out in the forest overnight reported their tent being touched and moved around. They heard creepy voices saying, "Help me, it's hot, save me." And I kind of wonder if this is the spirits of the people that were on the plane. Could they be stuck there for all eternity? I really hope not, and I hope one day they could find peace if that is the case. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and we'll get on to our last story. Sunshine 60. Sunshine 60 is a 60-story skyscraper located in Ikebukuro. It was the tallest building in Japan from 1978 to 1991. The land was originally used as one of Japan's most infamous prisons, so it really wasn't off to a good start from the beginning. From the 1920s to 1945, it was a jail for arsonists, communists, and prisoners of war. Despite controversy, in 1971, the prison was closed, and shortly after, the construction of the massive office building and shopping complex had begun. They hoped that giving this building such a bright and fun name such as Sunshine 60 would be able to erase the dark history of the land. But apparently that didn't matter much to the ghosts in the area. Throughout the entire construction of this building, it said that the land was cursed. There were a few workers who died from falling from high heights, and others died from equipment malfunctions, even though the appropriate precautions were taken. The workers said that they would hear whispering and crying throughout the halls when they were all alone and no one else was around. And this paranormal activity did not end when the construction was done. It still continues to this very day. Shoppers in this building report seeing shadows in the corner of their eye. They also see faces appear in the dressing room and strange lights floating down the halls. Occasionally, people see the young figure of a woman jumping from the top of the building. And when people freak out and run outside to see what happened, nothing was there. And this is also really weird because this is not the only time this happened. It's happened on multiple occasions. Apparently, one of the most famous ghosts there is the ghost of this lady. She has no eyes, just black holes for eyes. And she crawls through the offices and hallways saying, "Where is it? Where is it?" But nobody knows what she's talking about. And if you try to confront her, apparently she just disappears. I can definitely say for myself that I did not expect a building with such a happy name to be so creepy and so haunted. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed these 5 haunted places in Japan. If you haven't already and you like this video, please give it a nice big thumbs up, and I will see you guys next week for another spooky video.